everybody. Good morning. Good morning. It's Thursday. How's everybody doing today? It's Thursday and I'm at work. Well, I'm officially at work. Okay. So, hopefully you guys can hear me okay. It's going to be short and sweet like usual. Hey, R. Taylor. Hey, Juicer. Good to see you guys. As you can see my title, Justice for Michael Vaughn, Monkey's Army. I am the least patient person on this planet. Like, anytime there's these cases that we're following, I always look at the Michael Monkey Vaughn case and compare the parents. If I want to kind of compare and gauge what the mother's doing, I always look to see what Brandy's doing, because that's a classic example of what a parent does or acts like when their child is missing, in my opinion. And so we know that Michael Monkey Vaughn was abducted, unalived, and we don't know where he is. And so what I've heard so far from Camp Michael Monkey's Army is that there's paperwork signed and printed and ready to go that should have these 4 suspects arrested and off the streets. But yet here we are still waiting and waiting. I cannot imagine being a parent to a missing child and waiting and waiting and waiting and being told this case is solid, we have all the information we need, and yet we're still waiting. I mean, we know where these people are, and I need to check that now that I reminded myself. Brandon Shurtleff was arrested recently, and it states that it was another offense, nothing to do with Michael's case, but we know that he was being sought after by the law enforcement because his good family friend Dan Guthrie was on an interview talking about how they all came to look for Brandon. Thank you so much for the little hairbrush or makeup brush. That was cute. I've never seen that one before. And so, like, as a community, what do? I mean, we already went through the phase of, like, we're passing out flyers. We went through the phase of getting volunteers and looking for them. I feel like we all took turns talking with these suspects and their girlfriends and their baby mamas and all this, whoever, and it did nothing. We had the suspects up on channels talking publicly, which I believe that did help a little bit, because, the internet's forever. If you're talking on a public platform, you have to know that the internet's forever, and anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. And so that happened for certain. And yet still, here we are with no, yes, chicken pot pie, yes. They absolutely know that, and they absolutely know how, when, where, and why. But the proof is in the pudding. The proof is not fully there. And that is an issue when you have no body. Trigger warning. I hope Brandy's not watching. We love Brandy. She's very sick. So if you pray, please include Brandy Vaughn in your prayers. Our Taylor, we need to raise awareness to help Brandy. Yes, I agree. Michael Monkey Vaughn, little boy, went missing from Fruitland, Idaho. He was 5 years old. 2021. I think it was June or July. I get so mixed up. There's so many cases we look at all the times, and I have a hard time in the morning remembering things, apparently. But it was a couple months after Summer Wells went missing. Actually, you know what? It had to have been July, because that's a month after Summer Wells went missing. And the difference between Dawn and Candace Wells and Brandy Vaughn is that, you know, today she could tell you how many days it's been since her poor baby's been missing. And I can't imagine. I really can't imagine. And I've told her several times, like, do we need to pack up and come to Fruitland and boycott in front of the freaking building? Like, what do we need to do? And she's like, no, it's coming along. It's coming along. And I'm like, man, I must have no patience whatsoever at all, because I'm over here just, I can't handle it. I'm just like, somebody needs to do something. These people are walking the streets freely while this poor baby's no longer with us. And we know this. Uh, it's terrible. It's terrible. And I wish we had some sort of way to push the process along. But that's another thing. It's like, we as viewers and have this little community that we join together in, is it really even our place? I mean, we're not in law enforcement. No, they don't know where he is, and that's the problem. Well, that's part of the problem. They don't know where his remains are, and so they're trying to hand out plea deals. Recently, we learned that Brandon Shirtliff was offered a plea deal to where they would take the death penalty off the table if he told them where the baby's remains were. And he just continued to evade the law and, you know, run for his life. But he got arrested. And, yeah, the beautiful thing about that is the other suspect, Stacy Wandra, when he's cornered, he squeals like a pig. He talks. So I'm certain they've gotten the story. It's just hearsay and not evidence-based. And so that becomes close to impossible. It's just so frustrating. I can't imagine being one of the family members or a parent in a case like this. Good morning, bug cherry lover. Thank you. Thank you so much. I had lipstick on last night for some reason. And I washed my face and it's like my stained lips are still here. I don't even know what. I don't know. It's just never a dull moment in the morning. Nice. Number 26. Thanks for hitting that like button. And my man made my coffee this morning. So I've got coffee. And we're going to try and cut out completely Starbucks and Dunkin'. And it's like, I know everybody says I look fine. Everything's gravy and whatnot. I just don't feel well. So it's something that has to happen. But neither here nor there. Not you guys' problem. It's mine. Bubble heart. Oh, snap. I love those little emojis. They're so cute. Thank you, Helena. Praying for peace and healing for Brandy. Yes, she definitely needs prayers. She's very sick. She needs a liver transplant. And recently the trip to Utah was held off, and so she was set to go. It wasn't to go get a liver or anything, but she had to go for some type of classes or something to do with it, and they pushed it back because she was so sick. So she needs all of our prayers. It's definitely a life or death type emergency type of prayer. If anybody that prays, please include Brandy Vaughn in your prayers. I say let blanket community with flyers and dedicate and encourage people to look on their property and search the local parks and ponds. Yeah, I mean, our Taylor, I think that's great. It's just, we might be a little bit past that. We've gotten to a point where Brandon Shirtliff's family members own some type of graveyard where they do burials, and it's like a natural way, like they encase the bodies in cardboard or something like that. They don't utilize coffins. I don't, it's strange. I just learned about it and that they did a search there. And I guess Brandon utilizes his family's burial plots there sometimes, allegedly, apparently, maybe, possibly. Does Brandy have other children? She does. And we've shared her meal train link a couple times here on my channel, but she's got a couple of other kids. She's very blessed as a mother. It's just, I mean, I can't even imagine just sitting around waiting, and every day waiting for the next swing and the next movement of the prosecution, just waiting. And she's just so sick. I can't imagine. Is Sarah Wonder still locked up? Yep, she's still locked up. She's got till 2026, I believe, with her weapons charge. I just and last time I checked, Stacy was also still locked up, but I think he was trying to get a name change. And I mean, that's fresh. He's trying to change his name so that he's not associated with this murder and abduction. I'm like, yeah, you're never going to get away from that, sir. But okay, good attempt at, you know, whatever this is. And I just can't. It makes me angry when I think about it, and I shouldn't be angry. It's not even my kid, and this poor beautiful baby boy was taken from his family. For what? Why? It just doesn't make any sense. That's the part that gets me, is that why would you do that? Why would you, who can do that? And the stuff being alleged, see, this is from Brandon's family friend, Dan Guthrie. His house was basically swarmed. Can I post her meal train in your lives? Yes, of course. Please do if you have that. It was in one of my community posts. I shared it. And definitely if you have it, I would love that posted. I don't have it off the top of my... I don't have it. Your face is still attached. Oh yeah, God knows it sees all. Yeah, amen. He does. It's just, ugh. But hopefully, you know, it's coming. Like they keep telling everybody it's coming, and we're all just holding tight and waiting, and it's gotta come here soon. There's somebody walking by the car that was just over there by the 7-Eleven where I got my water from. And it's weird because I swear he was on a skateboard and he's walking. So I stopped just to kind of gawk at a walker walking by. What a joke. Stacy Wonder wanting to change his name but won't change what he did. Right. He thinks he can run and hide. And I don't. That's not how that works, sir. That's not how that works. That's not how any of that works. So what's done in the dark always comes to the light. I'm a firm believer of that, just like we see with Karen Reed now. Yeah, all these cases are so heartbreaking. Summer, what happened to these babies, Sebastian? It's crazy. It really is crazy. And, you know, what we all know for certain is that these children don't just vanish into thin air. They don't just disappear and never to be seen again. That's not how that happens. It's not how it works. It's not how any of this works. And if we do have true justice systems in place still, we should be able to get closure or something. I mean, So Dan Guthrie, a family friend of Brandon Shurtleff, one of the suspects in the abduction and unaliving of Michael Vaughn, his friend was on a podcast / YouTube channel, and he was telling everybody how they swarmed his house looking for Brandon. And so when he asked them, what do you believe that Brandon did? Because he can't imagine this person that he's had as a family friend for a long time. He can't imagine that he possibly could have done something so terrible to this poor baby that he's had to ask. And you could tell by the tone of his voice, he gets really shaken and kind of just, well, they said similar things to what, you know, was alluded to by Stacy, that they believe that Brandon Shurtleff, trigger warning, put the poor boy into a plastic bag and suffocated him. And I just can't imagine knowing that as the mother. I agree. I believe that Brandon's gonna crack. But if he's the one that did it, like they're alluding, I can't. I cannot. What kind of monster are you? I just, oh, it makes me so upset. And he's just been walking freely, just like no care in the world. They better not have let him out. I should have checked that before I went live. I just can't imagine. And it just pisses me off that he's just been walking around. My heart tells me Brandon and Stacy did it. But why? I mean, they were both in the car. They talk about stopping to refill the, not brake fluid, the, some type of fluid. They needed to put more fluid in the vehicle. Like, they literally talk about they left the house, and then Brandon is seen on CCV walking by the splash pad where little Mikey Vaughn allegedly was walking. I don't think they're putting enough pressure on Adrian. For whatever reason, I don't believe that Adrian was there, like, in the car when they went to leave. But I do think they know where Adrian Lucian is and that they're keeping tabs on him. Right. I couldn't do that to an animal either. I have a hard time killing a spider walking by me, even though they terrify me. Oh, good things to happen come to the light. Yeah. All of the bad things that are done in the dark always come to the light also. And so I just wanted to come together and collectively with you guys join hands and pray for Brandy and for healing, and then for the justice system to work in accordance to what it was designed for. And if we all come together and agree to it, it shall come to pass, for my belief. So now we get to go listen to Karen Reed and her defense team try and argue the truth on her not being guilty. Even though she says she's guilty, she's admitted to being guilty. I love it. I love when somebody's karma gets handed to them and it's due to their own words. It's just my favorite thing ever. The way that Hank Brennan has designed this case and his defense, or not his defense, his prosecution against Karen Reed. Oh my God, yes. John's poor mother yesterday, I was crying too. That was terrible. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't be listening to this at work. Because, I mean, I just could not. It was so sad. And for that poor lady to have lost 2 of her children, I just can't imagine. And now she's taking care of her grandkids. I mean, that poor woman. Anyways, make sure you check out Dolly Vision. We're going to be streaming the case over there. Karen Reed, day 3. It should be exciting. Just kidding. It's boring as hell. But, you know, still come hang out with us. I gotta run. Catch you guys on the flip side. Bicycle.